Hello everyone, I wanted to do a book review on the latest book that I've been reading. It's called God Distorted. And the subtitle is How Your Earthly Father Affects Your Perception of God and Why It Matters. This has been a really good read for me. Basically, I just want to break down how it's structured. So it's written by a guy named John Bishop, who is a pastor. And first of all, he starts out with our perception of God based on how we view our earthly father. Our perception of God is defined, God as a father is defined by how we look at our earthly father. So he goes through the different types of fathers that are there. He goes through how the father who wasn't there, the absent father, affects our view of God as being absent. He talks about the father who was there but not there. In other words, the passive father, the father who was present in our lives but not really working and helping us with things. He was just kind of distant. And then he talks about the father who expects perfection, the demanding father. And if you had a demanding father, maybe you think that your heavenly father is incredibly demanding. Then he talks about the father who rescues, the enabling father, the father who never lets you get hurt by your own choices, but rather just kind of is always there as a safety net to protect you. And then there's the father who's always right, the controlling father, the father who doesn't let you think for yourself, really. And maybe that's how your father was. The father who hurts others, the abusive father, the one who is hurtful, is mean, is abusive, and maybe that's how you view your heavenly father because of your experience as a child. And then he talks about the father who blames, the accusing father. Oh, it's not my fault, it's your fault. And maybe that's how you view God. These are all these different perceptions that can be a part of our experience of God, because of our past perception of our father. And then he talks about the father who is good, but is still not God. And maybe you had a good father. Maybe you had a father who was just on point, but you still maybe you don't have a good perception of who God is, because honestly, there's no father who can really meet and portray God perfectly. So he talks about all those different perceptions of who our Father is, and then in the part 2 he goes through and corrects bad thinking with the truth of the Word of God. He talks about how God is a perfect Father, how God is always with us, how God is up close and personal. He's not distant. He's right there with us, and He's a God who is fully pleased. He's not angry at you. He's not looking at you as a failure. He's happy with you because He sees you as a beloved child. He sees you through the lens of Jesus Christ. He's a God who does not owe you. He's also a God who's perfectly in control, who's completely safe, and who's always accepting. And so He basically takes the bad perceptions, starts out with the bad perceptions that we have of God, and then He takes the biblical truth and He corrects our thinking of who God is with the biblical truth. And then He gives us a time in the last part to really just reflect. So He does bad perception, good perception, and then application. The book is very well structured. So if you're looking for a book to help you with your perception of God, I would highly suggest God Distorted, How Your Earthly Father Affects Your Perception of God and Why It Matters. Read the book and allow it to be something that helps you just understand who your Heavenly Father is, and allow it to be a resource to help people who are maybe struggling with their perception of God because of the abuse that they have experienced. So I'm highly suggesting this book as something that you can add to your personal library.